Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Rowland Jones, again with Talking Songs. Good to be here. I don't know how things are with you, but it's very, very hot here. In fact, thinking about that, I better switch the fan off. Wait a moment. There you go, you can see how slick and professional we are here. I couldn't work out what that buzzing noise was in the background. But anyway, it's steaming hot in here. I'm drinking the water today, definitely the risk dehydration. So today I've got Tim PourBaix with me, who's signing in directly from New York. And but before I hand over to Tim, I'm going to play you a song. And this is called How Did It Happen? Things had always been easy, but suddenly it's not the same. You're two different people, a couple just in name. There's no enthusiasm, there's no energy. Where there used to be a great big us, now there's just a you and me. So tell me, how did it happen? How did it fade? How did it come to this at the end of that perfect day? Now tell me, how did it happen? How did it fade? How did it come to this at the end of that perfect day? He works late most every night, that's what she wants to believe. The real lie is, I'll be coming home, 'cause all he wants to do is leave. But he doesn't wanna hurt her, but he can't see another line. He knows that the end is in sight, it's just a matter of time. So tell me, how did it happen? How did it fade? How did it come to this at the end of that perfect day? Da 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 doo dee doo. Ba da 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 doo dee doo dee doo. Spends time drinking with all of his friends, afraid of opening that door. Not looking for someone else, just like what he had before. And she sticks to her own routine, the only thing to remain. Still smiles at the office, looking happy all the same. Now tell me, why did it happen? Why did it happen? Why did it happen to you? Tell me, how did it happen? Tell me, how did it happen? But tell me, how did it happen? Da 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 doo dee doo. Da 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 do do do. So tell me how. So tell me how. So tell me how. On that end of that perfect day. Well then, now it's over to my guest for today, who is Mr. Tim PourBaix. Doing the pronunciation perfectly correct today. I got it right. I remembered your little phrase.
You nailed it.
I'm safe with that now. How are you doing, man?
That's it. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you.
That was a great tune.
So, what have you been up to since I last saw you 4 years ago?
Yeah, that was. It's been a while. A lot of ups and downs. Up to what most people are up to now. Kind of waiting for things to go back to what they were, or what this new thing might be. But I'm hopeful and trying to stay happy, playing lots of music and talking to my friends and family a lot. So that's good. But that's basically what I've been doing. Going on a lot of walks.
Yeah.
You know.
Where do you actually live? Do you live actually in New York City?
I live in Brooklyn.
Right. Okay.
And but I don't live in Manhattan. I don't live, so where you met me, where the first mic was American Beauty, that was pretty far away from my house, and a neighborhood and a neighborhood I would probably never even really actually hang out in. But that was the opportunity, so I took it. Yeah. But and then I think you went to Pete's Candy Store once too.
We went to Pete's Candy Store the first day on the Sunday.
Yeah.
We got off the plane at about 3 o'clock, and 5:30 we were in Pete's Candy Store. Yeah. And that was my sort of baptism of fire in New York.
Yeah.
And then we met you, and then we went to one in the center in Manhattan as well, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, that was the one. I think my mic was on Monday night, so you probably went to Pete's on Sunday, and then American Beauty on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah, it was a good time. It was brilliant, really good. So you've just put this new album out.
Yes.
Tell us about it. Now, I'm interested in it. I mean, I've only seen you ever play with an acoustic guitar, but clearly it's a full band going on in there. Do you normally work as a band, or when you can, is it one of those sort of arrangements like most of us have?
I mean, it's kind of been a little bit of both for me. I always started, as a kid. I was probably like 12 or 13 with the guitar and, writing songs. And then, in my 20s, I played in bands. I was like a bass player in bands. Okay. So I love being in a band. I love having a rehearsal space with the band, having band night, practice. I love getting fucked up with the band, all that stuff. I loved it. But I also like playing by myself. But basically how my records go, this record, Stumble, my new one, and my last record, River Well, is I work with the collaborator in the studio, and he's a producer and he owns the studio. And we work and write together, and that's a big part of what I do. And I have a band because he runs a studio. He knows a bunch of drummers, and he knows a bunch of bass players, and he knows a bunch of guitar players. So on the record, we don't even have one guitar player all the way through. There's like 4 or 5 different guitar players. So we have access to a lot of different players. And then we do band shows. But I mean, my favorite thing at the end of the world is just to play with an acoustic guitar by myself. But that doesn't really I don't necessarily listen to a lot of singer-songwriter music. Like I like to see it, at a bar or something like that. I listen to more fully produced songs and stuff like that. And so we've tried to just do the guitar and I in the studio. And to be honest, it's kind of cool. But if I want to put out like 12 songs or 14 songs, you kind of need a little bump in the road somewhere. It gets a little flatlined all the way through.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I mean, because I'm in a similar situation, really. I mean, a lot of the time these days I work either on my own or in a duo. And I love going out with a band. And when I first came back to Manchester from Italy, I had a residency in Manchester for about 2 or 3 months. And it was great because we just did my material, but the band changed every week. So I had about 5 different bass players, 4 different drummers. And it was just a knockout. And it was great for me because I'd been away from Manchester for a long time, so I needed to get to know people. And that was great fun. But I think because when I first came back, just before that happened, I was doing a lot of acoustic stuff. I'm writing more acoustic style material, if you like. So, one of the things that struck me about there's a couple of tracks in particular where there's a great My Next Move in particular.
Yeah.
The rhythm section in it is fabulous. What it reminded me of was Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
Johnny and Mary.
Yeah, we had
Mary and Johnny. One of the two.
I'll take a little Mary if you know what I mean. Just kidding.
It's got that drive to
yeah.
It's got that feel to it. It sounds cracking. It really does good. Yeah.
Yeah, that song, when I wrote it, I kind of wanted it to be like the single or like the standout tune.
Right.
And then I think once we kind of put that pressure on the song, it like dropped really low on our list of songs. Like all of a sudden we're like, we don't like this song anymore, because we were trying. I think we already had its identity picked out for it. You know, like this is going to be the banger. You know, and like. And we had to disassemble it and put it back together in a whole different way, and then it kind of became a banger again. Yeah. But it didn't like. I guess our approach was wrong, and I think I learned that if you're planning on writing a record or an album, we have 12 songs on ours. We had 14. We scrapped 2. I feel like it's just like letting the songs be what they are till like almost mixing. You know, I mean, just basically. They reveal themselves, you know, in ways you're not going to expect, you know, and that's what happened with that song. We were like, "Oh, cool! I like to play that live."
It's great.
You know, that was fun as a toe tapper, but then it kind of, you know, but I'm glad you like that one. I like it too, and I like the rhythm section.
It is just such a. But the thing about it also struck me. I may have said this story before. Years and years ago. Somebody played me a demo of a band called Split Enz. I don't know if you know Split Enz.
I mean, I don't think so.
Right. Well, Split Enz became Crowded House. Right.
Okay. Cool.
But when they were Split Enz, they were a bit more wacky, and the demo I heard was a song called "I See Red." And it was quite frenetic, punky, and it was going, I see my baby walking down the street, I see red, I see red, I see red. I thought, oh, fantastic, it was excellent. Yeah. And then about 6 months later, they released it as a single. And it was, when I see my baby walking down the street, I see red.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it was so disappointing. Because the first one was a real, you know, grab you by the nuts. It was just beautiful.
Well, because they actually had pressure to make a single. I'm just a dude on my own being like, what song do I post on social media first? You know, it's not really like a single, you know, in the way of like how, you know, so yeah, they actually had pressure, and like, you know, that rawness probably scared a few people, and they needed to shine it up a little bit. And then it lost that thing that was special about it.
Yeah. So what about your I mean, there's some intriguing lyrics on yours. What I mean, I was trying to find out what Flexerol was. Yeah. And it turns out to be a medical substance.
Yes, and it's spelled and mispronounced incorrectly on purpose. Well, not first. Right. But I mean, there's a lot of stories with Flexerol. But one quick one. When I was writing the song, I was like, how the hell? Because I'm singing it Flexerol. I'm like, and then I was seeing it everywhere spelled different, and I was like, I don't think this is how you spell it, and I don't think this is how you say it. But Flexeril, I don't want to sing that. Yeah. I mean, what do you?
Because I googled it, and I thought that maybe because sometimes pharmaceuticals have different names in America to what they are here.
Yeah.
So that was
what I even called the pharmacist. So what I did was like, I need to get to the bottom of this. So I called my pharmacist, and I could tell that this woman was not having like the best day. She's probably busy. She had real life. She's taking care of people that need help. And I'm like, like, I just, I'm writing this tune, and I just really need to know, is it Flexerol or is it Flexeril? Yeah. But like I was kind of like, or is it Flexer or is it Flexerol? Like, like trying to push for the Flexerol, and she just says Flexeril, and then line, it's just cut, and I was like, thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah. So.
Excellent.
But the way it became that way is honestly, I was on Flexerol for a while because I had some back issues.
Right.
I'm all good now. I'm like a 25-year-old champ, no problem. But so I had to be on Flexerol, and I wasn't. You're not supposed to drink on that, and I'm not kidding around. You should not drink on that. And I did a few times. I had some very scary nights, heartbeat going, stuff like that.
Oh, right.
That's kind of where the song comes from, and I kind of like that the name is slurred and said wrong, and there's a little bit of incorrectness, because that's kind of what it's all about, the song itself. Yeah. That one I plan on playing today, so yeah, that's the deal with that, and just so it's not a good pill. Do not drink and take that pill. It's no fun. Cool. Yeah. Not that you're gonna do it, but you know, if there's anyone thinking about it, don't.
Well, I actually asked my wife's a physiotherapist, and I thought she might have come across it. She never heard of it, so.
You know what I would love is that it just there wasn't even Flexeril. It's just I was just some imaginary pill box that I had, and I took them for a while, and
something out of science fiction.
It's like an imaginary friend, but it's an imaginary pill. I don't know. It could happen. It could have happened. I don't know.
On that note, what are you going to sing for us?
Well, I guess I should probably do Flexerol, if I can manage it. But yeah, we'll do Flexerol.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Here we go.
Okay. Hang on, you disappeared.
Hey, there I am. Hold up, laid out on the floor, looking up, Flexerol. I don't feel anything at all. I got this, I got this, I got this. Arms asleep, it numbs my feet. I start to shake, I can't eat. Flexerol, I don't feel anything at all. I got this, I got this, I got this. Even though I'm leaning up against the wall, I got this, I got this, I got this. You know I can't run, you know I can't sleep. Feel the effect, but you don't feel me. You know I can. Oh yes, I can. Flexerol, I don't feel anything at all. I got this, I got this, I got this. Even though I'm leaning up against the wall, I got this, I got this, I got this.
That's good. That was good.
Thank you.
So there's a bit of confusion at the beginning there. It went to the wrong thing.
It's all good.
Yes. Yeah, good song. Good song. What I mean, do you There was one other song in particular that Leslie and I both commented on, which I think was on the previous album, a very, very Beatles sounding track with harmony vocals right through the verse, I think.
I don't know, harmony vocals, last record, do you remember any of the lyrics, any part of it?
I just remember the harmonies. It was just lovely. I was just...
Because I didn't sing any of the harmonies, I was always singing the lead. I bring in
I
bring in good old Raj O'Toole. He's got the voice of an angel.
I think it's a skill in itself, getting people... I've worked with a woman who did some harmonies on my last but one album, and the producer was saying, okay, like, can you do this and just give me the third above, give me the fifth, and she's nailing it, you know, not just the pitching of it, but the breathing on the words, and it's a skill.
Well, we need that, you know, and maybe that person isn't so good at writing original music, right? So it all works out, you know. But yeah, the harmonies were sung. I wish I knew what song you were talking about. It could be a song called "Take Notes."
Yes, that sounds like it.
It might be. I don't know for sure though. Honestly, I'm having trouble remembering some of the details of this record I just put out. I'm like, I think that was the drummer. You know, so but we could, yeah.
Did you play acoustic on it, or did you play any of the other guitar parts, or bass, or what? Or
no, so the way I have a very special friendship, and I have a very special relationship, musical and spiritual, emotional, with my friend Quinn McCarthy, and he runs the Creamery Studio. Oh. And Quinn McCarthy, he's like, he plays every instrument. He does it all. So basically, the way we work is kind of like I just write the lyrics, the melodies, and I work on the guitar because that's what I'm best at, you know. Mm-hmm. And what he's good at is production. He has a ton of gear. He has a ton of mics. He knows how to use them. Yeah. He also, you know, when you're writing your own song, and I think as much as I love being a singer-songwriter because I don't need anybody else, you do need somebody else, or at least I need somebody else. And it's like, if you were just wrapped up so much in your own world, I don't think you'd get very deep with your songs. And I think like having Quinn, who I trust pretty much even with my life, even though he's crazy, in the best ways, best ways. He gets it, he knows it, so I'm mostly just playing acoustic guitar. He's also playing acoustic guitar. I'm not playing any other instruments, and any harmonies that basically I tried to sing them myself. The ones I couldn't really sing, we brought in people that could, because I mean I'm very like scoped in on what I do, and that's acoustic guitar.
It makes sense. I mean, the album I did with a producer, the last one, he came in and I played in the songs, and what we did, we went in the studio, 2 acoustic guitars, and we just laid down a very, very rough guide track just to get the groove right. Yeah. And then we built it up from that. We didn't put the kit down afterwards, put the pedal steel down afterwards. And he had this thing about the structure of the song having something that happens at every point. So that, you know, the first verse is going to be like this, and then there's something else happens there. And then we get to a certain point, and then it breaks down, and then it starts up again, you know. And it was all to do with that. And in total, he did some harmony vocals, but he also played acoustic guitar, bass, keyboards, and I think he did some percussion as well. Yeah. And I sort of handed him over, you know, handed the songs to him, and I said, look, I'm not going to tell you what I want, but if there's something that you do which I really, really don't like, then I'll tell you. And he said, okay, that's fair enough. So we had that sort of understanding. Because I was a bit nervous about it, just saying, look, you know, just go with it. But as you say, if you can trust somebody. Well, also, this is the thing is, in 2009 is when I moved to New York. And before that, I came out for a couple days, and I played one show in Williamsburg at a place called the Charleston. And it was a bar, and below it they had a stage. And he was the first musical person I met in New York. He played guitar in this other band, the band that actually got me the show. He played guitar in that band. And, you know, we had some drinks, and we connected out on some window, you know, fire escape. He was the first person I moved to New York before I even moved there. And I've worked with him since. So I'm not
I'm not really, and that's one thing I wanted to mention too, because some people, when I tell them about how I do things, they think, oh, I just went in and got some producer and fancy producer and put on the bells and whistles. I mean, Quinn is along for the ride. He's been hearing these songs. The songs on this record I've had for many, many years. We've even tried to record them and put them on the last record. So Quinn has been like, we've worked together like bands work together, only it's just him and I. Yeah. So instead of me and the band, it's just him and I mostly. And then we bring in people where we need it. If we can't do it well ourselves, we bring in someone that can do it better, and we make sure there's no slop on there, Yeah.
But actually, the next question I was going to ask you actually was to do with that because some people like to write a song and then record it immediately. Although I have done that, I would much rather write a song and actually play it on the road first to allow it to mature or settle down, whatever you want to call it. I was just wondering how you feel about it. Quite clearly, you've been road testing these for some time.
You could go both ways. Like, if I found that sometimes there is something magical about a song being written and recorded right away. I don't know if it works for every song. But sometimes, like, there's been songs that I thought got away from that first beautiful kiss we had. It got different after that, because of that being like, well, I better hit the mics with this, and then I'm going to demo it, and then I'm going to do this. When really, like, what I had in that moment and what I got down, if I could just do that again, but with the right gear, which is what comes in being a recording artist and like being able to work and make art inside of a studio. Just because they hit play and you're playing your guitar doesn't mean it's gonna be art to anybody, I know it, trust me, I'm living proof of that. So I had to learn that stuff, and working with him and working with people that he brought in was very helpful.
Brilliant.
So
play us another tune.
Totally. All right.
Tell us a bit about it. And then...
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do a song called Ride This Out.
Oh, right, yes. That was another one I wrote down, actually. The three I wrote down were My Next Move, Ride This Out, and Flex Your Roll.
Nice. And I was thinking about My Next Move, but I'm at this weird thing because I used to never play with a pick. Right. And I almost always played shows where there was like a PA and there's a stage and it sounds good and you could like have the touch. Yeah. And I used to like when guys would come out and just blast it with their pick, I'm like, you don't even need to play that loud, dude. You're amplified, man. Like you're just rocking the shit out of us right now. But now I found that like with the touch and the like you don't like, and then you're singing, you're losing something. So like some of these songs I'm like kind of relearning to in this format play with a pick and make sure that there's a little less like usually when I'm playing live I'm trying to do like more like little things to make a tone and whatnot. It just doesn't pick up on this, so there's no use. The best is just to be like give them a nice clear single of what's going down. But that being said, I'm gonna do Ride This Out. And a little side note is this is actually a song that I wrote kind of right away and it in one sitting really quick. But I don't normally ever do that. But this one I did do that with.
Oh, cool. Yes, the fingers versus picks thing. If I'm playing electric, I always play with a pick, and if I'm playing acoustic, I rarely play with a pick.
Yeah, if I had your setup, if I had the DI and the condenser going right now, I'm going all natural, you know what I mean? There's no, I'm riding without a saddle over here, you know what I mean? And so who knows what's going to happen, but I'm not afraid.
Excellent. Okay, over to you, Tim. Go for it.
Love it. I just found out myself that I couldn't help, but I held my own ground. Why could? And when the news hit my head, it felt like I should just leave, at least for a little while. Read about you in the book, seen your writings on the wall. I think I'm gonna write. I think I'm gonna write this out. When you see me from the clouds, do I still look just like a fool? I think I'm gonna write. I think I'm gonna write this out. I don't know what's worse, what happens or how I'm getting used to all of this so quick. Stand up in my chair, raise fist to the sky. I have to ask, is this the way you choose to do business? Read about you in the book, seen your writings on the wall. I think I'm gonna write. I think I'm gonna write this out. And when you see me from the clouds, do I still look just like a fool? I think I'm gonna write. I think I'm gonna write this out. Read about you in the book, I seen your writings on the wall. I think I'm gonna write. I think I'm gonna write this out. When you see me from the clouds, do I still look just like a fool? I think I'm gonna write. I think I'm gonna write this out.
Great.
Thank you.
Love it. So what have you got in terms of I mean, this album you said you've had a lot of the songs. Do you have a sort of method for writing? Do you think, right, I'm going to record an album next year, I'm going to plan for that, or does it just happen when it happens?
Well, I decided, I think it was probably around 30 that I wanted to like write a body of work, like a record. My girlfriend, Jenny Morgan, she's a painter.
No, right.
And she's been painting full time for many, many years. She's a creative. So she would like do a show with her paintings, right? And then the paintings would sell. And then she would just, start over again. And she would never take a painting from one show that didn't sell or whatever and like put it into the next show. It was always like, that was that show. Yeah. Now I'm going to write this show. And there's no stragglers in between, right? So for my last record, River Well, I think what I did, I can't remember, I think it was like 2012. I had rented a rehearsal room. It was $60 a month, 24-hour access. You could smoke all the weed you wanted in there. We had a beer fridge in there. I mean, I'm sure they were blowing cocaine. I mean, it was crazy. This was so rock and roll, man. My first day in there, I found a dead rat. It was like the size of a chihuahua. Anyways, at least I think it was dead. But
you sure it wasn't a chihuahua?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I'm going to get this rehearsal room for 1 month and see how many I can crank out, and then I had it for 7 years. I was in there. But I think that, I do like to sit down from scratch if that's what I'm going to do. That's what I did with the last record, and that's what I did with this record. I'm not currently doing that approach because just doing an album is like, it's like building a house, man. You're like, I don't think I want to go do that immediately. I want to because it just took a lot of time. It takes money, but I work with someone who is invested in my songs, so I get a lot of help. Most producers don't work off the clock at all, and I think most of the best production done on this record was done off the clock. You know what I mean? So on his end, you know, we both put equal amount of time. I would say on that record, he probably put just as much time as I put in writing, maybe a little bit more, but we also put in time together. So he's legit his own. Yeah.
You were saying before you don't listen to singer-songwriters much, and it's an interesting thing because obviously I'm older than you, and to me the singer-songwriter thing, it takes me back to like being a student, and you know, Joni Mitchell and James Taylor and that Cat Stevens and people like that, and obviously Dylan, but it's sort of evolved, you know, from that now. I mean, at that time it was very much a folky sort of thing, wasn't it? Whereas
well, I mean, it was never. And that's what's funny is I didn't even get. I'm not even kidding you. I never even really got into Dylan till recently, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even like so. I obviously it's Dylan, but I'm not like I listen to it. But it's not. He doesn't inspire me musically. I sit there and I listen to his beauty, and I listen.
Can I confess? I feel the same.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. That's what I'm saying. No, I sit there and I appreciate his art, and I love his art, and I've wept beautiful tears at sunset to his music, you know. But like at the same time, for me, it was like I was young. It was Tom Petty's Wildflowers, that record. It was Elliott Smith, and it was Nick Drake, and all three of those hit me within like a year, and they all found me. Other than that, every single one of them. It was a kind of a cool way that we found each other, you know? It wasn't like some promo on some Facebook ad, like, you know, it was like I heard 2 seconds of a song on Good Will Hunting, and then I read a review on a Songwriter separately, but I liked what he said, but I didn't know he was connected to this. And then I heard, you know, and then it all kind of came together, and I was like, whoa, that's all Elliott Smith, he did all that. So that to me, but again, I don't sound like Elliott Smith. Sonically, I'm not trying to sound like him or anything. I just liked what he stood for and what he did.
I think one of the things you just said there, though, is interesting in the sense that I think the difference is that these days there is so much music being produced.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that if you've got any sort of technology at home, the chances are you can record something half decent and actually put it out on SoundCloud or whatever.
Yeah.
And people are producing stuff, you know, loads and loads of stuff. And I think it's kind of, there's a lot more music out there, but I think a lot less music is listened to. We hear
just because they're putting it out there doesn't mean, I mean, I have a new record out and I have songs on SoundCloud that have 0 plays. You know what I mean? Because SoundCloud's not necessarily my jam. But it's like, this is kind of what I do, and there's not even a single play. So just because you're making music and everyone can do it, doesn't mean anyone gives a fuck.
It's funny,
you know?
Stuart, the guy who did this with me last week, and I said, he was talking about Reverb Nation.
Yeah.
And I said, are you on Reverb Nation? He said, yeah, I use it for this and that. I said, is it any good? He went, no.
I mean, I used it a couple years ago. I mean, you know, but... It's not good because, you know, I was just thinking about this too. One thing my producer Quinn we would talk about a lot is that a lot of people are like, oh, once it's mastered, it's going to sound good, right? But we always said mastering's like 5%.
Yeah.
If you put in a piece of shit into mastering, all you're going to have is a polished piece of shit. It's going to sound, you're going to be able to hear the shit better, you know? Yeah. So like, it doesn't, I just realized I probably shouldn't be cursing. I'm so sorry. Us Americans, we're a bunch of cowboys and we have no manners. I'm sorry. I do curse. You know.
We all do. Trust me, we all do.
Yeah. Had someone told me, hey, Tim, you shouldn't be cursing on live stream, I would have logged it, you know. I'm just kidding. Of course I shouldn't be doing that. Of course I shouldn't be doing that. Sorry about that, everybody.
Don't worry about it.
I'll do it again. What's up? Yeah.
Do you want to do a song? Do you want me to do one? Or what?
Let's hear one of your tunes.
Okay, I'll do one of mine.
Let it rip. Yeah.
This, do this one. This is you know, the old saying that amateurs borrow and artists steal, you know, and I think some people say Da Vinci said it, some people say that it was Picasso said it, but so after I'd heard that, I actually stole something, and I've told this story many times. I stole it from Paul Simon, and but I don't feel too bad about it, because many years ago there was a British band who recorded a song that Paul Simon's lawyers, their attorneys, sued them for it, because they recorded a song called 50 Ways to Clean Your Oven. And he sued them, which I thought was pretty rotten thing to do, really. So I don't feel too bad about borrowing one of his lines.
Yeah, he'll understand.
You'll be on my case like a shot. So this is called Feels Like Yesterday. There's a train in the distance, police car in the streets, the sounds of the city, the places where you used to meet. Just when you thought it was finished, just when you thought it was through, things come back to you, the places that you knew, and it all seems like yesterday. Seems like yesterday. The taxi rank on the corner, the cinema in the mall, the pizza place and the wine bar. You remember it all, and just when you thought it was finished, just when you thought it was through, the things come back to you, the places that you knew, and it all seems like yesterday. Seems like yesterday. Nights just watching TV, lazy afternoons in bed, early morning kisses, all the things that you said, and just when you thought it was finished, just when you thought it was through, back to you, the places that you knew, and it all seems like yesterday. It seems like yesterday. Seems like yesterday. Just when you thought it was finished, just when you thought it was through, things come back to you, the places that you knew, and it all seems like yesterday. Thank you. Sorry, I left you on screen there, didn't I?
It's all good.
Thank you. Yeah, it's only the first line I stole from him, really. In fact, I think I've changed it anyway. I think his line was, "There's a plane in the distance," so I changed it to "a train in the distance." So I don't think he can sue me for that, can he?
That'll hold up in court.
Yeah. Yeah, they have what do they call it? they have a title. People who do this sort of research they're called forensic musicologists.
Sounds like a hell of a day job.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, they get paid a lot of money, apparently. But there you go. If you're going to deal with Paul Simon, you'd hope to be paid a lot of money. So, yeah. What else then? What other things musically? Do you play any other instruments apart? Well, you play bass, obviously.
Well, I haven't played bass in a long time. When I did play bass, I think I was pretty good. I connect with the drummer all right.
Yeah.
I don't play a lot of other instruments, but I am into like writing. I do a lot of writing, like some poetry and other stuff like that. But with my teaching gig, I do play a little bit of a djembe for the kids. But we're talking like the ABC song. You know what I mean? I'm like A B C, and even that I can't get the rhythm down. So you know, but yeah, that's pretty much it. What about you? Do you play? What else do you play?
I started off playing piano when I was a kid, and you know,
that's the best move, really.
Yeah, but that's what my father was not professionally, but he was a very good organist. Classical, you know, church music, chapel music, and he wanted me to play piano and wasn't very keen on me learning to play guitar at all. It wasn't very rock and roll. He wasn't a very rock and roll.
Sounds like a smart man.
Yes, maybe he was right after all. So yeah, but I did. I still have his piano actually. But it's funny because I kind of forgot everything I'd learned, because when I went back to play the piano, I thought about it in terms of chords rather than reading the dots. Do you know what I mean? And if you listen to some piano players, you know, somebody like Phil Collins, when you hear him play the piano, it's fairly clear that he's never been taught to play the piano. He's playing it in the same way that somebody picks up a guitar.
Yeah.
It's very... it's just a certain style to it. So I still have the piano, but apart from that, I think singing and guitar is enough. I have battled with slide, well, particularly Weissenborn, which I want to play, and I have a Weissenborn collecting dust in the corner here, which I still have managed to get my head round. It's, you know, because on guitar I've played jazz and all sorts of stuff, and to suddenly find myself restricted to a block of metal that is not flexible, I find it very weird. So no, for the time being, I'll stick with this. I think it's.
You know, I was thinking, is that simplicity? I just having this might already be out there, and if it isn't, try not to steal it. Not you. I'm talking to the viewer. But I thought it would be great to have like a mini guitar. It's a nice little guitar, kind of like a ukulele, but a little even smaller, like literally one string. You know what I mean?
All right.
Like bring it back to just that much. And the reason I say this is because one of the most, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Again, I'm inspired by this song, not necessarily by the band, although the band's a great band and I think people like them. But I can't even remember what record it is. It's a Red Hot Chili Peppers record.
Right.
But there's a secret song, or like it goes for a little bit, and then Flea, the bassist, plays a song called "I'm a Little Pea."
Right.
Have you heard that song?
No.
But he plays it on like one string. He's like, "I'm a little pea," and it's just like one string in him, and it's like a symphony to me. Because I like what he did with what he had, you know. And he could have even played. He might play two strings on it. It's been a while since I hit. But and then I you know, so I kind of like that simplicity. I think it's good, especially even for you. You come from a little bit of jazz. You're a great player. It might be better. Like sometimes the mind is your worst enemy in the sense that you might know too much, and so like to bring it down to that simplicity.
Well, funnily enough, there's an American guitar player. I can't think what his name might be somewhere over, and he is a renowned guitar teacher. He's written some very, very seriously respected books, and in his books he calls it the musical skating rink or something like that, and the exercise involves various ways of restricting how much of the guitar you can use. So you have a chord sequence and you're allowed to play a solo over it, but only using one string, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to do scales, but you have to play different scales, but only between 4 frets, right? So if you're going to start, say you're going to start with a C scale, you do that up there, but then you have to do the D scale, but still between those 4 frets, so you have to change fingering for every scale.
Yeah.
And it's all this thing about restriction, so you've only got that to play with. And as a result of it, you have to work hard to get the most out of it, as you say, you know, with the single string.
You dig deeper.
The other thing with the single is the sort of cigar box guitar. And I mean, lots of people are playing cigar box guitars these days, and they've normally only got 3, haven't they, I think?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You could do whatever. I mean, I would often like to play, and I do, it doesn't come across so much in this format, but I would love to have like 1 or 2 strings on the verse, and then open it up to all the strings on the chorus, because especially if you're playing by yourself. So like the song "It Was a Sign," I could be like, okay, you know, like that. So you get like a little bass guitar going, and then I like that. I mean, you know. The restrictions are good.
That was another song I liked. It's the one about the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? It's a sign. That's a sign.
It was a sign.
It was a sign.
You know, like when you see something, you're like, it was a sign to, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Go on, do us another song. That'd be great.
Okay, cool. I'm actually not gonna do that song. I'm gonna do a little bit of a lighter tune. It was a sign. We go a little deep on that one. I'm not going to do that to you. But I'm going to do a song called Time Socket. Okay, and I think it's been written a while ago, but I think it's appropriate to now, because I feel like we're in a little bit of a time socket.
And that's on the new album, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first track on my new album. The album's name is Stumble. Give it a listen. Give it a jingle. And we will love you with all of our hearts. And by we, I mean me and the old... But so I'll do the song Time Socket, and we'll see what happens.
Cool.
Better get... Time socket gonna keep me swift. I listen close cause the slur comes quick. I lean in to see what I'm hearing. A whisper from the corner of a dark room. Light pocket shine to do me in. I blink twice so I know it's true. I don't believe a second what I'm hearing. A small voice in the electrical outlet. Time socket. Light pocket. Time socket. Light pockets. The time socket, gotta think this through. I brace myself, cause one's about to hit me soon. I take the joy like a bolt of lightning, and sparks flew from me to you. Light pockets, my eyes are gonna twist, and what I see here will not be seen again. And when I wake up shaking, my ear against the electrical outlet. Time socket. Light pocket. Time socket. Light pocket. Time socket. Light pocket. Time socket. Light pocket. Oh.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
That's a knockout. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much.
We've cruised to the end of an hour without any difficulty at all. I think
That's right.
We might have to get you back on.
I'm at the ready, sir.
Yeah. It's been an absolute joy. Great to see you again.
One quick thing. I just want to say, I remember when you and Leslie came to the open mic, and what a good vibe. And obviously you're a fantastic musician, but you guys were always so great at my mic. We just loved having you, and I know that everyone here just connected with you, and it was so great to have you in our scene. And anytime you're over here, if there's anything I can do for you, brother, you let me know. All right?
Thank you.
And say hi to Leslie again. It's so nice to see her too.
Yeah, she'll be downstairs sharing this with 1 million people now, hopefully. So that's
Bless
lovely,
her.
Tim. Thank you for that. It was, I have to say, I mean, it was, we were there for a month, and it was great, and it started from the moment we got there. You know, the second day we were there, we met you, and then it was.
You guys did it. You did it right, man. It was awesome. I loved what you were doing, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. And thank you for everyone that tuned in and listened to my songs and listened to us chat. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tim. See you again soon. Take care, friends.
See you later, my man.
Cheers, man. Oh, fantastic. That was great. Oh, that's lovely. We did have a great time. They just, because we'd arrived on the Sunday in New York, and then we went to the first one, and somebody said, well, you must come to this one. And then they said, well, let's come to this one. So we did. It was just fantastic. It was unbelievable. So that's it for this week. I'm not going to do a song to finish with because my throat's hurting a bit, so I'd rather not risk it if that's all right with you. So just to let you know what's coming up in the forthcoming weeks. Next week we've got Tom Atter on. He's coming over from, well, I say coming over, metaphorically speaking, from t'other side of the Pennines. The week after we've got Liam McClare. Then Chloe Jones on the 1st of September. Andy Adams on the 8th of September, Harry Stafford, I think he'll be our first keyboard player. Then on the 22nd of September, we've got Emily Fremgen, who's a friend of Tim's, one of the people that we met on our 3 days, our first 3 days in New York. On the 29th, this has just been confirmed today, Chris Taverner's coming in to talk to us. That'll be good. It's always good value. And the 6th of October, we've got George Borowski. And actually, there's one missing here because we've got Rachel Kober coming in October as well. So lots and lots of things coming up. Do come and join us as often as you can. And you know, if you want to suggest somebody to come in and, you know, drop me a line, say hello. I don't know. Ask me if there's tell me if there's any questions you want me to ask people, because it's an interesting thing. I'm fascinated by how people write songs and why and how long it takes them and everything else about it. So thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it. And if you've enjoyed it half as much as I have, then I've enjoyed it twice as much as you have, as Ronnie Scott used to say. So it's not original. So thanks a lot. I'm going to go have my dinner now, and see you again next week. Take care, friends. Bye. Stay safe.